Welcome to DU Digimon. Hello and welcome to DU Digimon, and welcome to the second match of Jank Tank the Champions. If you're liking this content, please make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ding that notification bell so you're not missing out on the latest content. If you missed our first match between Aegisdramon and Red Purple Imperialdramon, do go and check that out, as well as the Dex video. Now, today's match is one of our most controversial. We have Marsmon, the winner of Jank Tank 3, piloted by myself, Josh, taking on Imperialdramon, piloted by Charles, the winner of Jank Tank 1. Yes, Imperialdramon is in this tournament because of a loophole, because it was a previous winner, because it used to be non-meta. Will it prove to be the best deck in this tournament? Who knows? Maybe Marsmon will, step up to the challenge. Let's find out. And here we go. Starting us off is me. I hatch into my Sakutomon as part of my Legend Arms text in this, and then go into offense training to Marsmon there straight off the bat, so you can guess what we're adding. Charles then gets off to a great start with his deck. He has gotten the Vmon in the back and the Davis and Kenji. Ken. Too busy thinking about Kenji Watanabe. Ken on the field. How long did it take me to say that? Who knows? But anyways, on my side, I unfortunately have picked up the curse that Alex had in the last game, where I'm just bricking. I've not found a rookie, so I end up just hard playing a Birdramon because I've got no other way to really get going. Is it the best thing to do? Absolutely not. But when you've got no rookie, you don't really get a choice. Then Charles gets to do the start of main from the Davis and Ken, bringing out the Wormmon and doing a little search there. Goes into the Lydramon on top of the Vmon, suspending my poor Birdramon, and then going into the X-Vmon on top of the Wormmon, which just feels wrong, and then DNAs into Imperialdramon. Imperialdramon, of course, makes it that my Birdramon can no longer unsuspend, and then goes in for a jamming check. It's a tie, so it doesn't matter, but the Birdramon, well, the Birdramon also doesn't, the jamming doesn't matter, really. The jamming didn't matter, but what does matter is he's done 2 swings, of course, something that Imperialdramon is very famous for, just this very quick and aggressive style. Then goes into the Imperialdramon Dragon mode. This is then going to essentially stop my Tamer from unsuspending as well, not that it's going to be doing anything when we're not removing any security this turn. But the main thing is now he's gotten that there, the offense training suddenly is kind of switched off, because potentially if he's got the Imperialdramon fighter mode or the Paladin mode in hand, he can just absolutely ruin my day, especially with the former, because he'd be able to bottom deck my Birdramon. So I'm busy thinking about whether or not I'm going to go ahead and Digivolve with it. Obviously I can't attack with the Birdramon, it can't suspend, I've got no rookies as I'm pointing down at my security, like my fingers tapping away, just making the entire table shake from the sheer anxiety of Brickyhood. Now I also relayed into Sam for being slow play, Sam last game, but now I'm the one the slow play because I'm just taking forever and a day to think about what I'm actually wanting to do, which is hilarious. Now we do end up using the offense training, and luckily there is nothing to trigger the effect of the Imperialdramon, and we have gone into the Diaboromon. So we've still got turn here in terms of what's going on. And we then Digivolve our Diaboromon into the Marsmon, just as a show of force, really. He can't do anything yet, but he's here, and he's just enjoying himself. Start of main again goes off for Charles, and he's going to go into that Wormmon. I mean, going on to my play, if I'd had like a Legend Arms in play, probably the better thing would have been to just stick it under my dude, put him on less memory. But he's now going to go into the X-Vmon. Uses the I can't remember the name of the card, but basically just lets him cheat up into a Imperialdramon by playing out a Stingmon and doing the end of turn DNA. So he's now got a second Imperialdramon on the field, and strips away all my sources, stuns my Marsmon again, and we're just seeing why Imperialdramon is so good. Yes, it's being helped by the fact that I am building houses, but we all know how good Imperialdramon is, and if we're going to talk about the tournament right now, should we have been able to done away with some sort of way of balancing the Imperialdramon, balancing Imperialdramon as a whole? Probably, but it just felt like it was going to end up being too unfair on one player to do that. So, next year's Jank Tank will not have any tier 1 decks going in through the loopholes, I hope. But anyways, he does try to swing for game here. I end up going into Gallantmon Crimson mode just to pop his Imperialdramon as it's swinging in. He then goes into the DNA, into the Imperialdramon, and swings for game, which unfortunately nothing I could do there. I was building houses, and that's just how the game goes. But On to game 2. Sakutomon being hatched out and Zubamon being played, so we've got a rookie this time, which is good. And go to the red memory boost, which is my tech against Charles, because of the fact he's got the BT16 Imperialdramon. So the red memory boost allows us to gain 2 memory, which he can't stop with his or trigger anything against because of the Digivolution requirements of that effect. But we do end up adding the Diaboromon. I was really tempted to add the Shamanmon there because it is a really good floodgate against Imperial. But I needed the level 4, so I added that level 4 straight away. Charles is then starting off with his Demi-V and going into the Wormmon. Again, it's just wrong. Especially when you've got a Vmon. He's got a Vmon in hand. Why didn't you? It just feels wrong. Like, I get it. Digimon can be anything, but still, you know, my brain is grown up on adventure, and I just want to see stuff. But I decide to just be super aggressive this time. So I've used the memory boost, gone into the Diaboromon. He's left me on quite a bit of memory, so I've gone up to 6, gone up to 3, and gone to the Duramon. I'm then going to plonk the Duramon underneath the Duramon with its effect, gain a memory back from the Sakutomon. So we've now got Security +1, Raid and Piercing. Go into Marsmon with the Blitz. We're absolutely massive, and we raid into that Vmon. What that's then going to do is we change attack target, which crashes 2 security. We then do piercing with just 2 security checks. And all of a sudden, Charles is only on 1 security, which is crazy. And this is Marsmon. Like, Marsmon's shit. And yet it's just done that, you know, which is awesome. Yeah, we've done a cool thing there. Obviously, Charles has got his backup Vmon in hand, doing the start of mains. He's playing more stuff out. He's just searching away. You know, we've just got to hope we can go from there. He's now going to go into the Stingmon, gains a memory back, goes into the XVmon, then does the DNA, gains 2 memory. We know the shtick. Goes into it, suspends my poor Marsmon, which will stun it for a turn, which is a real shame. After he just did some massive damage there. Then he's going to do the cheeky 1 swing, 2 swing, you know, the 1-2 combo. Didn't need the jamming, I don't think. Again. But that's just how it goes sometimes. And then he has a little think. A lot of hand motions. Obviously, I can't remember what was being said because of the fact that we've got no mics. Hence, again, why we're doing commentary, if I forgot to mention. Because we had no mics this tournament. Well, I said we had mics. It's just they didn't work for whatever reason. I think the receiver must have been turned off. Then goes into the Ken and Davis. I then hatch Sakutomon, go into Biomon. I'm feeling pretty good at this stage. You know, I'm at 3 security, he's at 1. I just have to survive another turn, essentially. I can't remember what we're talking about here, but I think it's probably something to do with, you know, just you know, some sort of effects or anything like that. I then go to the Gotsumon and the Tai, just to give myself a memory tamer. You know, I figured that memory tamer would be a decent plan. And then we've got Charles going into the Demi-V. He's got the Pyaldramon out, of course. Go into the Vmon. And then, having a little think, he goes into the Lydramon. Suspends my Gotsumon. Does Pyaldramon. Swinging into security. Does the check Marsmon, but it's fine. He's got the jamming. Zuba-Egamon, but he doesn't need it. Jamming again. Then Lydramon to get the final security. It's my Tai, so I will get a 2000 DP boost, which I'm pretty sure I put on the Marsmon at the start of the next turn. Then having a little think, he's looking at his dragon mode, having a little think, and I believe he does go into that dragon mode, from what I remember. We're actually almost, as you can see at the time on the match, we're almost at the end here, so something big's going to go down. But Imperial dragon mode comes out, does its thing, but it hits into my Biomon, my Gotsumon, which is interesting. Like, you would have thought, if he's going to do that, he would have just gone for game. Surely, but he didn't. Unless he has to, I think maybe he has to attack a Digimon, I think, yeah, someone in the comments can let me know. But I then do my search with the Biomon. Now, this here was the turning point. I should have absolutely added the Durandamon there, not the Duramon. Because what I could have done is he hasn't got Progenitor on the field, and I could have gone Durandamon underneath to blow it up. But instead, I forget about Imperialdramon Fighter Mode Ace being a thing, and he bottom decks my Marsmon. I genuinely could have won this game if I had put the Durandamon under. I completely forgot that Progenitor was not on the field, and that he wasn't going to be able to Digivolve up. I'm so used to playing around that. I just Mandela effect and put it on there. So that's a huge misplay on my part, and it will cost me the game. We're just going to play through the rest of it. But Birdramon comes out. You know, we're then going to go delicate plan just because, you know. Do a swing. He goes into the Paladin mode ace, which I was also worried about. Takes away my stuff. His progenitor doesn't activate at least. And then I'm just going to Digivolve up into Diaboromon, which, you know, at this point... Oh, no, first we've got to do the trash stuff, of course. You know, that's just that. But then we go to the Diaboromon, and that is going to be that. Vmon then swings for game. That, unfortunately, was a huge, huge misplay on my part. And I'm so annoyed. I'm really annoyed at it. I didn't think about it on the day. Because I was so close that you can even see me on the camera. I almost added the Durandamon, and I just don't because I'm dumb. But with the hindsight being a thing, watching things back, you know, if I had added it, we would have gone to a game 3, and that would have been a much tighter game. So apologies that I'm stupid, guys. Marsmon could have done a lot better. Like, that was not Marsmon's fault. Marsmon as a deck did great, apart from bricking in game 1. But that was on me as a pilot, unfortunately. But with Marsmon defeated, that means Charles does go up to our final game, our final match, and he will be fighting the winner of our previous match on the channel, which was Aegisdramon. So it's going to be Aegisdramon taking on Imperialdramon in our final of Jank Tank the Champions. You know, is Imperialdramon going to take it? Is it going to be the best of the worst decks, because it is no longer a bad deck at all, and in fact it's broken, and somehow made it into this tournament because we're stupid and we allowed it. That's by we, I mean me, because it was me that made the tournament, and I should have done better things to mitigate it. Or will Aegisdramon prove that it can hang with the big boys and take out Imperialdramon? You know, it's got some good techs are going to get. It's got Digivolve, it's got the bouncing, it's got all that sort of stuff. So who knows? Stick around for that match, which is coming out tomorrow, for Imperialdramon taking on Aegisdramon. But until then, guys, keep it digital.